getting up off the floor. I want to show how it's done wrong and see if you recognize any of them at all. Okay? The worst one is this. I'm not saying it's bad, what I'm saying is it's inefficient. What we're trying to get to is efficiency. Okay, that's one. Another one is this. Sometimes it's this. We'll get up like this way. Again, inefficient, not an ideal. What I want to try and develop is where you can get up off the floor with as much efficiency as possible. So you've got three options. One from here and two from here. Because sometimes getting from here takes a second because you're winded, whatever. But you can still be efficient from at least a knee position if you can from a floor position. Because you're like, I need a second, but as soon as I'm here, I'm good to go. Okay? So, can everyone, what we're thinking about is fluid motion, that when my upper body works, my lower body works. Does that make sense? Because if I do this to get up, I'm doing everything in 2 steps. That is upper body, lower body. Yeah? I want to try and think how I can do them the same. Okay? So what I'm looking for is a big push from here. We're not looking for a strict press up. We're looking for any kind of motion to get myself off the floor. So that can be with my upper body, but it can also be with my butt. So I can go up, here, any which way possible. So that's where I want to start first. Okay? Then how can I get as high as possible off the floor, still having all 4 limbs on the floor, using my push with my hands, also with my butt coming up. That I can go here to get up. And that's step 1. So let's try that first. That's what we're thinking about, is how quickly I can get up using here. We can also think about a bounce. Particularly if I've got knee pads on, there's no danger for me going bouncing with my knees. I can go bounce with my knees to help that motion. Step 2 is how I can quickly take that momentum, rather than up, immediately goes forward. So I don't want to get all the way up to the point where I'm top and then go to step 2. I want to do it on the way up. Does that make sense? Okay? Is taking your dominant leg, which for me is my right, in a situation, regardless, pick your dominant leg, whichever one's your instinct you want to put down, is you do the same thing and try and get onto a foot. Okay? That it's what you're not looking to be this way, we're still going to be at a 45-degree angle. Okay, so we're not looking to get up, we're getting to get up to a 45-degree angle and no more. Okay, so we're going to go everything to get up and a foot to get into place. That's one movement that I've gone up, and now I'm in full dig to go this way. Is when I'm getting up to here, that I can almost push off with my hands like a sprinter, or when I was up, I can throw myself, pushing with my legs, but my upper body is a throw to get going. So that when I'm up here, and everything is as if I ran off the floor. All I had to do was get that first power up to take the momentum this way. So the momentum goes up about a foot, straight forward. Happy with that? Let's take it to this. Okay? Where can I create momentum? That's the push, it's my hips, and how far do I take up before I move forward? It may be that you're on the floor and you have to go and go back to where you came. But at least that's going to be a practiced, efficient motion rather than going which takes double the amount of time, actually more effort. Or an ice hockey get up that we don't normally do on skates, but it's perfect to do on skates. Because when we're here on our knees, our tendency is to just do that, or worse, toe stop and up. Okay? When really we have 8 wheels on their edges, I can get up this way to get up instead, because I have good hip movement because we're practicing doing 90 skates. I have nice sticky wheels, whatever, grip to go on those edges. All I have to do is take the momentum to get there. So to go forward, I kind of have to go up instead of keep going. On a lateral get up, an ice hockey get up, I'm moving one side. And as I move up to one side, I'm stepping up. So take a knee, or both knees. Make sure you're going to the opposite side of your dominant leg. So if your right is your dominant leg, lean left. If your left is your dominant leg, lean right. Okay? So I as my dominant leg here, I'm going to start left. Okay? So you're going to lean left, and as you return to center, you're going to lift that foot. Okay? Okay, lean left, out, right, up, up. Perfect. Okay, that is only using our legs. Now if we think about momentum combining upper body and lower body, I can go right, left. If I start on my left, I can go up, up. To make that even easier, it feels half the effort because I use my upper body to help me think about your arms as one piece. But I'm going to go up, up to get up. Okay, so give that a try. You go, go, is what I'm thinking about. You go 1, 2, 1, 2. Is a knee up. Now, this is not an efficient way to get up on skates. Really inefficient. What it is, it teaches you explosive power to get up. So this is an off skates thing, not an on skates thing. This is a practicing being on the floor to get up quickly. It transverses into other areas of derby. So the first two we've just done are completely applicable to skates. This one is not. Okay? This is about going from this position to this position. Okay? Where the power comes from is a little bit like a clean that you'll do with Lily. It's about a triple extension. Okay? That I'm going 1, pushing up with my legs is 2, and 3 with my upper body. Okay? So it has to be that get up here. So it has to be a full body set of momentum pushing from 3 different places. I'm trying to straighten out my legs to get up. I'm trying to push my hips forward, and I'm trying to get my upper body up first. So what I want you to think about is going down. So come down from me. Do this very gently, and go. And just try and land on your shins again. So it's just up. Next step, if you want to try with one foot, it's like go up. And try and put one foot down, like go up here, is your next step. So same idea, going up, up. Explosion up to here. Okay, sledges are great. They're not perfect, but they are a reasonable analog to a wall. Okay, the best thing we can have, but without actually doing it on skates for off skates, it's a great way to practice proper pushing technique. A continuous series of lunges. Okay, that I'm engaging every part of my body, so that I'm digging in here with my chest, so it's chest up and hips through. Okay, but I want to come here, lifting through. A surge to what I'm doing, because this is nice and steady. With any decent push, there should be a surge to it. That when I'm pushing off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as if I'm running, there's a slight surge to it. Is that your head should stay about the same level the whole time. It shouldn't bob up and down, because that means you're losing energy going up and down. So lunge, chest up, hips through, finish at the glute. So I'm pushing all the way till I can feel my butt engage. If I only push to here, I'm not going to feel my butt engage, so it'll be here for each one. So we're going to walk really slow, being very exaggerated with our hands. Make sure everyone's going. And then when I get to a point that I'm going to put my foot down, I feel the outside edge of my feet that I'm going to push off from that and carry on. Nice and relaxed. Opposite foot, I'm going to feel the outside of my foot and lateral across. I'm going to be very strict with my arm motion. I'm not just putting my arms at my side. I'm going to be very strict about going edge across, edge, across, edge, across. Now when it comes to which direction I'm trying to move, if I want to move laterally and forward, I'll make sure it's my little toe that is a little bit more in contact to move lateral forward. If I'm moving immediately lateral, it's all on my edge. And if I'm trying to go almost back the way I came, that I can go a little bit more heel and outside edge to come back. So it's all about where the foot connection is to make that lateral motion across. So what's going on, turn around, is this is a blocker, I'm the jammer, but it doesn't matter if you're not a blocker, you have to be a blocker, is I'm looking for controlled lateral motion from one side to the other. Okay? Where this goes wrong is what the other loose leg does. So if I go right, that's this leg. Okay? Because people are doing this. Worse still, this. Okay? Correct is tuck. Everything is tuck. Okay? That's the first thing I want to mention. The next is how much do I load my leg to have that power come across. So I want you to find where you can engage all the muscles, come across, tuck, and hold that balance. What will happen is as you land, you will drop down a little bit for balance, then really find the perfect spot to push off from, and go back to hold. Across, boing, cross, boing, etc. So with your partner, I want you to go across and balance, across and balance, across and balance. How to throw it. So we're adding in our upper body because this is speed, legs, etc. We're now going to add in our full body for that width. So example, if I'm behind that, I'm not just going one person's width, I can go two persons' width. We still have to practice that. I'm still going to, like it is in the floor, that load with my upper body going across, load.
Do you use your legs slightly more this time? You should try and get it.
You will bend it a little bit more and you'll push off a little harder, and it's about the experimentation and control.
Yeah.
The distance is irrelevant. It's about your control of the movement without. So if I do this, that's one way. I do this, it's a different way. I do this, it's a different way. Okay? So you can experiment with them that way. So you add numbers. Ideally 1, 3, 5 and no more. So we can take small and then around a set of numbers, 5, 1, 3. So I have small, so I know the width, 5, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then I can go big, the same option. Let's just say it's small. Okay? But I want you to give your partner a random set of numbers, 1, 3, 5, maybe 4, a fourth number. Think about it, how you're moving. So you go 3, 3, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Okay, so I'm thinking about how my bodies work in terms of rhythm and distance. Okay? Which is me doing nothing. Say you walking towards me, this is me rolling towards the wall. Keep walking. How many little movements can I get in? To get that. So me being stationary in a static position is me on my skates. The wall is coming towards me as my partner, that I would be here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And practicing that distance, or when do I have to begin the 5 or the 3 or the 1 based on the time I have as possible. So what that looks like is that I'm going here and bouncing off. Here, 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 here. As little ground contact as possible. It doesn't have to be fast, but the movement has to be a quick pop, that pop, 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 pop. Add it as both feet. So if this is called icky shuffle. So you're going to go in, out, and so the out is the rebound. So it's going to be here, bounce, 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 bounce. So the bounce is in the out. So it's both feet in, bounce, both feet in, bounce, both feet in, bounce, both feet in, bounce. And it's the outside as little ground contact as possible. Keep that momentum up. Hands doing this, just vibrating, is very, very helpful. Rebound aspect. It means changing some sort of movement, momentum, direction, body position with as little ground contact as possible. That can be up, that can be lateral, which you've just done, because that was kind of up when we just did it with one foot, like this, etc. When we did it with both feet, it's changing lateral direction, but then we can also have it going immediately up and a double-footed landing. So it's having that ability to, as soon as you land, you're back off the floor. So I want to go for a walk in a circle using these 2 hurdles and nothing else. But you're going to go up, bounce, to get back up. Okay, so it's a little jump, big bounce out. Okay, then it's going to be little jump, big bounce out. Okay, it's that. Deadlift is entirely posterior chain. It's all the muscles on the rear side of my body. Calves, hamstrings, glutes, lats, upper back. Okay, the core is going to be involved regardless, but all the muscles involved in a deadlift are all along the back. Okay, with me on that? Yeah. Okay, so what I want to do is engage them correctly. So everybody take a seat. Okay. We're looking to get this up high as possible. Okay? That is your basic glute bridge. Okay? What I want you to think about, to set up, is not only am I pushing my hips forward, I am trying to drag my heels through and up. They're not going to drag because the floor is resisting me doing that. I'm going to try to do it, and you'll find hamstring engagement much tighter. So you'll go glutes, hamstrings, and hold. Okay? So hips up, so you get a nice wedge, and then try and drag your heels, even lift your feet. Now drag your hamstring, drag your heels up the floor. Lift your toes, lift your toes. There you go. And try and drag your heels up to your butt. Next point, we're going to go back into that glute bridge again. This time, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go glutes, hamstrings, lats. And I'm going to flex as if I'm pulling with my lats here. Pull in tight. So that is a nice chain from hamstring, glute, and my back tight to create a nice connection. So try that again. You can go glutes, hamstrings, lats. Conventional is arms out. Sumo is arms in. Okay? For athletic sports, sumo is better because it involves more leg drive, because we use more leg drive in derby than we do lower back. So why practice the one that's focused on lower back? It's good to learn both, but sumo is preferred when it comes to athletic. So a rough idea, and you can shuffle a little bit from there. Okay? For a conventional deadlift, it should be roughly shoulders width apart, but a good barbell will have lines on it. That means the smooth bit and where it changes to serrated should be roughly the outside of your leg. That's your first point of reference. Your shins should be touching the bar as a starting point. Hand grip is personal preference, whether it's double over or one under or one over. Does not matter. Whatever your preference is. I used to do this, I now do this. What you want to do is get this part of your knuckle and your thumb touching your shin. So the bar isn't touching my shin on its own now, it's bar and the knuckle of my thumb. At this point, I'm going to pull down until my chest is up. Okay, so what that means is mimicking what we practice on the floor, where my hamstrings, glutes, and back are engaged. I'm here, it comes to the point where I'm actually like, I'm tight, but it's actually coming off the floor. It's like, you're taking all the slack out of the bar. So right here, it's rattling inside there. I want that gone, so that the bar is pushing the top part of the inside of the plate. There's no rattling, that is my position. Tight. At that point, I'm going to use my back, legs, I'm trying to open like a book here. Okay? I'm not spondling, which is the phrase where you end up going legs and back. So we want to do this, like that. It's simultaneously tight, and I'm opening like a book. Okay? And my hinge in my back, my legs is opening evenly. Okay? It's strong back, never let down. So the time under tension to lower weight rather than just lifting weights. It goes wrong every time you put it down. Because then I go, and then I don't get tight. And that's when it goes wrong.
People try and bounce it, don't they?
Well, bouncing it's fine, provided you're taking it slow. Bouncing is fine. What I'm talking about is people that dump it and then try and go, and then this goes on it goes. That's very wrong. So to learn deadlifts correctly, pick it up, get a good grip, mid-shin, back up. Mid-shin, back up.
Is this a deadlift?
This is a deadlift.
Right.
This is a conventional deadlift. Okay? So my thing about getting strong and comfortable with it is never put it down. 10, 20, 12 reps, lightweight, and get completely comfortable with the mechanics. Get them all the muscles burned and recognize where they are. Okay?
Is your weight and your particular in your hips?
It's fully all over the place, like even.
For me, like I said, when you deadlift, your weight's supposed to be in your heel, but it's not true.
You will get more leg drive when you do that. So it can be initial in the heel first, but then it ends up in the full foot. Because I'll end up in the center of gravity, which will be here, which will be the whole foot. So if I go heel, I'm going to move tip forward. So in the full foot. It might be slightly heel to begin with, depending on and leg length. Okay, you'll have shiny bits on the outside here. Okay, my suggestion is the outside of your shin. Start. So go outside, then duck foot at that point should be your reference point. Some people like the other part of their shin on the other side of that, or mid shin, like so it's right in the middle. I go on the inside, so it's in line with the inside, then I turn out. Okay, that would be your starting point. It's a squat to start, and if you keep your arms shoulder width, eyes not in, just really shoulder width. Where I come down is roughly where I'm going to put the bar. So it should be my pinkies roughly where the serrated and smooth chain is. Same idea, I'm going to get tight, and I'm going to think of a squat, not a deadlift. Okay, think about squatting. I'm going to squat with a bar underneath me. That's the difference. Okay? As you come down, do not let your knees cave. So it's that strictness to come down with a wide leg and up. Okay? From here, up, push. Okay? Knee down, up, push. Then he's going to give me 3 numbers.
3, 1, 5.
Okay? 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Straight onto the agility ladder. All the way up. All the way back. Do it again. Okay, in this one we're practicing our rebound, but not only we're practicing the landing, we're practicing the lateral motion afterwards. So we're going up, across, up, across, and we're finished. And go. Up, push, knees, push. Number
1, 3, 5.
1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the way across. Back.